People, deluded, I'm back again. Now, we lost 2-0 to Leicester. Emery out, people. I'm sorry. I don't like to bandwagon. I don't like to scapegoat. I would love for him to go on a winning run and look at this vid like I was tweaking. But Emery's got to step down today, people. It's over. Top 4 is gone. Being 9 points off it or 10 points off it, however effing much it is, people, is not the thing. I could sit here and be pessimistic and say we won't. Mathematically as possible, we are in November. Other teams will drop points. Why I scrap top 4? For me, the players have shown they can't do it. They've been in this situation last season where they weren't able to get away with victories in games like this, or were in ruts in terms of form like this. You've got to have big part of my language. You've got to have big balls to pull yourselves out of it, people. You've got to show a lot of courage, and the players just between not being not born and engineered with fight, not being able to, or just not fighting for the manager. It isn't there, people. The players psychologically, I need to wonder, because players don't live in a bubble. They knew Spurs dropped points today. They equally knew Chelsea won. United lost last week and they know United are playing tomorrow. So it's another game. We've gone into it knowing exactly what we need to do and still failing, unable to deal with the pressure. Added to that, on top of that, you're going against Leicester. Nobody in their dog gave us a chance. Rightly so. We lost 2-0. Leicester weren't at it in the sense that they didn't have to be at more than 60%. But nobody gave them a chance. And if I was one of these players before the game, even their close relatives must have said it, my pride would have been shot. We play for Arsenal, whether it's Arsenal of old or this lame excuse of an Arsenal team at this moment is another thing, people. But they must have been that would hurt my pride. You're going against a team nobody's giving you a snowball's chance in hell against. You're playing against a team in terrific form. It's raining, it's windy, the away fans are getting on top of you. We've got poor away form in away games. These are games you need to pull yourself out of it. The players bottled it time and time again and have shown they can't do it. But it's down to the manager. A team is a reflection of the manager, and Emery has been here for 15 months, and you don't know what reflection actually is. We're stale, we lack ideas, there's nothing. Now at periods do you know what, it's weird because it was a better defeat than many fans would have thought. I thought myself, similar to the fashion we lost 3-0 there last year. Do you see what I'm saying? I won't even say we put up a fight, but we kind of held it up for a sec. We was pushing our luck. Leicester putting a number of low drilled balls into the box, I felt, and Chambers was getting a little on it, and they just weren't getting away with it. They just weren't getting on the end of it, and we were getting away with it. There were passages where I felt the game got a bit open and we did all right, but more often than, and there were we did put some good moves together. Lacazette should have scored 4 goals or had 3-4 opportunities in that first half. The rare times we did do that, we looked alright. But more often than not, we're camped in our own half. On top of just systematic issues, I felt the players, and they have to take responsibility. They're just inviting pressure on themselves with a number of stray passes. Like, players are playing stupid passes in midfield. Players are not putting proper strength on passes to get from 5 yards to another. We're just, do you see it? It didn't matter if it was fullbacks, midfielders. It was just a madness, people. And the players have to take accountability for that. But let's look at our formation. Now, we can just call it a 3-4-3 in short, but it was more something like this. You had, obviously, now, everybody, including myself, has been very critical on Unai Emery's tactics, people. For me, it changes far too often, and it's not a point where we've done every formation clearly to a point where players know 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, 4-4-2. They know these things and what we need to do within them by the book. They know it like the Bible, people. They read it inside out. If we could do that, by all means, flip and switch your formations every week. Freedom within a framework. That's what I call cerebral and being unpredictable. But we are unpredictable in the sense that the players don't even know what they're getting. It's unhealthy to keep changing the squad. But I won't lie, even though I don't necessarily agree with going out there with that, I had no problems with the formation and things with current conditions in the game. Pepe's not been in great form, but I thought Pepe, he's an outlet at the end of the day. We're going into an away game. We're clearly going to try and stay compact and whatnot, despite the fact that we cannot close out games and do 2 banks of 4. We're going to do that. If it becomes the game we believe it's going to be, where Leicester are on top of us, then surely Pepe's an outlet. He will take a man on. He will give Chilwell something to think about. But I said, all right, cool. You've gone with your 3 on paper best centre halves in terms of ball playing. Bellerin, who's the most natural right back. Tierney should have started for me, but you've gone with Kolasinac at left back, who is a natural in that role. And more so, for all his problems, he does thrive in a three at the back formation more, where in theory there's less of a structure for him to defend in the sense that obviously he has to get back, but there's more of structure, weren't the right word. There's more of an emphasis to go forward. Then obviously you've got Chambers doing up centre half, and he'll naturally come into this position and protect it. Luiz was in the middle, and you saw him stepping up and distributing the ball and whatnot. So in theory, I didn't have any issue with it. Our ball playing was on top of what I just said about sloppy passes, people. Our ball playing was incredibly poor. Apologies if you can't see it all. Our ball playing was atrocious. Let's just call a spade a spade. I felt Leno was putting pressure on ourselves at times, but I'm not blaming individuals. I felt individuals were a bit shaky and whatnot, but it comes down to the system. I think players should be smart enough to know, listen, ball playing out from the back ain't working today. But at the same time, if they're listening to the manager and the manager's telling them to do that, then what can I tell them? Because whether I agree with it or not, they're not going to be in the squad. If they don't listen to the manager and a mistake happens, then what's the manager going to say? Like, it is what it is from that regards, people. So yeah, I didn't really have a complaint. You've gone with Torreira and Guendouzi. They're fairly mobile. You've gone with the fullbacks. I've mentioned them. You've put Mesut Ozil in. Now, obviously, a part of this formation was probably because we were probably expected to lose the defensive battle, people, in that, as you can see, Leicester's on a 4-1-4-1. We was probably going to lose the midfield battle. Ndidi mops up everything. Telemans and Maddison are way more thingy. Barnes and Perez came more narrow and whatnot. And then, obviously, you've got Vardy hanging on the last shoulder. So that was to give us a bit of more freedom, especially, a bit of more of a fight and whatnot with Ozil there, and probably in theory to kind of release shackles on Ozil's defensive requirements, which I think he did alright today. And I think, like you saw, Ozil was the one pressing in the middle, and our strikers were pulling out to here. Now, they all swapped around a bit, but I think a big part of that was kind of to firstly discourage Schmeichel from playing it out into these men, and secondly to kind of keep them pinned back so they can't really go forward, leaving it. It's our fullbacks versus their wingers. It's a 1v1 sort of thing. Ozil drops back. We've got 3v3. We've got man at the back. If I wouldn't agree if Emery wanted to go out with that sort of approach, but we have to. If you're going to do things like that, you have to be spot on defensively, people. We have to be able to defend in our sleep. We cannot do that. We're definitely not going to be able to do that in the next few weeks. Problems were coming. So while I don't have a problem with how we was playing and the formation, it comes back to our intent in the team. Like, I couldn't see any options. I couldn't see what we was doing, people. Both goals were almost identical in a sense that, and not to scale, but Vardy's goal, the ball was coming in from this hand side, people. Apologies, we're red. So sorry about that. The ball is coming in from this hand side, people. And nobody's aware of Vardy. It's like Vardy makes a run, man are ball watching, and then he just peels off. You lose Jamie Vardy in any box, in any game, and you're in trouble. This is a man that's scored goals his whole life for fun. No short of a Premier League legend. Non-league to Premier League won it. Scoring goals for fun every year. Premier League legend. You lose someone of that calibre, he's making you pay for it. And it was similar circumstances for the second, people. Ball comes in from the right hand side. We're flapping about initially and not able to win it, not strong enough anyways. People are at 6s and 7s. If you remember, there was a point. Sorry, people. Bring back some other man. There was a point, yeah. It felt like 4 man was marking Jamie Vardy. Like 4 man was there for one of the goals, and they had no clue. But like I said, removing that. In fact, let's put him back. Ball comes out to, let's make another defender. Ball comes out into Jamie Vardy now, people. And we're kind of defending well, there's nothing against it. But the problem is this. Let's say this is Maddison and get him out of the picture. Midfield runners, edge of the D. These lot are defending. Strikers, the midfielders that are not there. Who is seeing this situation, people, and thinking, let me track back? Nobody. Vardy's unmarked. Vardy's marked. He plays it to Maddison. Maddison sorts his footing out. He slots it. It's 2-0. Lovely result for Leicester. We shot ourselves in the foot and we're the only ones to blame, people. It is what it is in that regards. Emery needs to step down tonight. That's just me, people. But I'm going to get out of here. That's all there is to talk about tactically, man. Yeah, we got forward, but the reason we lost this game is because we're just poor like we normally were. We didn't take the small chances that were presented to us. And again, the same defensive the same defensive mistakes and errors and lack of positioning and just poor defending off the ball. How you defend off the ball makes all the difference when the ball is received and whatnot. What you do off the ball in anything in football makes a difference with what happens on it, and we don't seem to grasp that yet. But on that note, people, deluded. Comment, subscribe, and do the rest. I'm out.